My sister laughed at dinner. Meet my fiancé, a ranger. She mocked my uniform. Then he saw the task force patch, froze, snapped to attention, and barked, Maya, stop! Do you know what that means? My sister Maya has always had a status problem. She measures people by their zip codes, their watches, and especially their titles. I've always been the disappointment in her eyes. While she was climbing the corporate ladder in PR, I was away. She told everyone I was traveling because she was too embarrassed to admit I was military. To her, being a soldier was for people who couldn't get into Ivy League schools. She spent years making me the punchline of her jokes at family dinners. I usually just stay quiet. I'm not there to brag. Last night was her big reveal dinner. She invited the whole family to a high-end steakhouse to meet her new fiancé, Liam. She'd been bragging about him for months. A real hero, she called him. An army ranger with more accolades than you could count. I showed up straight from the base. I was tired, still in my utility uniform, and I just wanted a steak. I didn't think much of it. I had my jacket on, sleeves rolled up, and my specialized unit patches visible on my shoulder. The moment I sat down, Maya's face soured. She didn't even say hello. She just looked at my uniform and sighed loudly, enough for the neighboring tables to hear. Really, Chris? You couldn't even change? She sneered, swirling her wine. We're at a five-star restaurant, and you look like you're ready to fix a truck. It's embarrassing. Some of us actually have careers we're proud of. The table went silent. My parents looked at their plates. I just took a sip of water. It's a uniform, Maya, I said calmly. Not a costume. It's a low-tier job. Let's be honest, she laughed, looking at her friends. Meet my fiancé, Liam. He's a ranger. You know, the elite? The guys who actually do the heavy lifting while you're probably just guarding a gate or whatever it is you do. Liam walked in a moment later. He was built like a tank, posture perfect, looking every bit the part of a tier 1 operator. Maya beamed, grabbing his arm like a trophy. Liam, honey. This is my brother Chris, she said, her voice dripping with mock pity. Try not to talk shop too much. I don't want him to feel bad about his little service record. Liam started to smile, reaching out for a handshake. Good to meet you. He stopped. His hand stayed frozen in midair. His eyes didn't go to my face. They locked onto my left shoulder, specifically the blackened, subdued task force patch that most civilians wouldn't even notice. It's a patch you don't get from a recruiter. You get it from surviving things people don't talk about in polite company. The color drained from Liam's face. It wasn't just surprise. It was pure, unadulterated shock. Liam? Maya prompted, her smile faltering. He's just a junior tech or something. Don't worry about Maya. Shut up, Liam barked. The entire restaurant seemed to go dead quiet. Maya gasped, her mouth hanging open. What did you just say to me? Liam didn't even look at her. He snapped his heels together. In the middle of a crowded, expensive steakhouse. He stood at the most rigid attention I've ever seen. Sir, Liam said, his voice projecting with a gravelly, terrified respect. I had no idea. I am so sorry, sir. Maya let out a confused, high-pitched laugh. Liam, what are you doing? It's just Chris. He's a nobody. Sit down. You're making a scene. Liam turned to her, and for the first time, he looked at her with genuine anger. Maya, stop talking. Right now, he whispered. But the intensity was like a physical blow. Do you have any idea what that patch means? Do you have any idea who you've been talking to? It's just a circle with some... That circle means your brother is part of a task force. That my unit isn't even allowed to brief. Liam snapped. He's not guarding a gate. He's the guy who goes in before the Rangers even get the call. He's a ghost. I've spent my entire career hearing legends about that unit. And you're sitting here mocking him over a bottle of Chardonnay? Maya looked at me, then at Liam, her face turning a deep, humiliated red. The disappointment she'd been kicking for a decade was suddenly the only person in the room her hero was afraid of. Liam looked back at me, his eyes pleading. Sir, if I had known... Ease spring, Liam, I said quietly, cutting him off. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. Sit down. Eat your dinner. You're off the clock. He didn't sit. Not immediately. He waited until I took a bite of my bread before he slowly lowered himself into his chair, looking like he wanted to crawl under the table. Maya didn't say another word for the rest of the night. She didn't look at me. She didn't even look at her fiancé. She just stared at her lap, finally realizing that the person she spent years looking down on was the only one in the room who truly knew what power looked like. I finished my steak, paid the bill for the whole table before they could even ask, and stood up. Good luck with the wedding, Liam, I said, patting him on the shoulder. He flinched slightly. Maya, maybe learn to read a room before you start talking about status again. I walked out of the restaurant into the cool night air. I didn't look back. I didn't need the apology. The look on her face when her gold standard snapped to attention for me was worth more than 1,000 I'm sorry's.